Welcome to Advertising Champions, your go-to resource for insights into the dynamic world of advertising. I'm your host, Tony Stanol, and today we're talking with Robert Manasier, who is the CEO of InFocus Brands. Welcome, Robert.
Hello, Tony. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, tell us about your journey to where you are today in terms of InFocus Brands, and what was your background, your career history?
Yeah, so I started very early building companies. I started my first company when I was 13. I haven't stopped, so it's many, many years later. And at some point, I realized there's a process to starting, growing, scaling, and exiting companies that can kind of go across all industries. And that's what InFocus Brands does for our clients around the globe.
Got it. And what was that, a lemonade stand when you were 13, or what was the original business?
No, it was a property management and landscaping company based out of New York City and then upstate New York.
Now, that's awesome. And what types of companies or industries do you consult with these days?
Yeah, so we don't consult. We actually deploy into our clients as a white label solution. So we come in as the company to help make change management, kind of improve systems and management. It doesn't matter what industry. Right now, we're in sports, we're in clean tech, we're in technology, we're in hard goods, we're in manufacturing. So we run the gamut.
I see. Now, give us an example, maybe. It doesn't have to be a confidential one, but of what white labeling is as far as company is concerned.
Yeah, and I won't mention any names because that's the whole point of white labeling. So we had a technology company. Their board of directors wanted to exit the company, and they needed to really create some change and some management improvement with the metrics. So they brought our team in to work with the management team side by side with them to understand the market, to understand the messaging, to really drive stakeholder improvements. So we were deployed for 6 months. After 6 months, the metrics were where they had to be, and they got to sell the company for the multiple they wanted. So that's kind of the perfect vehicle for white label, because you're selling a company, but you need some change management. And sometimes consultants from the outside can't see all the nuance in a company. So that's why we're on the ground with them. We're reading the same intel that they're getting. We're interacting with the team to understand where they need improvement, where there's some missing links, and we try to fill that gap for people and clients.
So you're literally under the hood, working with them. And I'm sure you work with a team of subject matter experts. And what types of positions are those?
Yeah, so we have a deep bench of industry-specific experts, but our core teams have been trained. We have a very long training cycle, 18 months to get into a full-time job at our company, to understand all the processes and systems that we've built and that we deploy into our clients. So we have our full-time staff that deploy, and then we bring off the bench subject matter experts as we need them. And that can run the gamut from logistics, obviously CTOs, CMOs, chief sales and revenue officers, CFOs. It doesn't really matter what the client needs. We have a fairly experienced bench that we pull from all the time.
Got it. Now, what are you seeing in terms of growth in the industry? Is there more white labeling going on?
I don't think so. I think we're actually at a transition point where we're thinking about actually creating a consultancy for the first time to take care of some of the clients that can't afford or adapt to a white label solution. So, I mean, obviously the big issue is dropping people into a company for a certain amount of time can be fairly expensive. And we have a number of models that kind of mitigate some of that cost, because we take incentives and we do profit sharing with our clients, or exit strategy incentives. But right now, just people need better guidance, because everything's in flux, right? We have macro trends, we have issues in local markets, we have inflation, and clients that need us the most, just like during COVID, can't always access the experience that we bring because we've been doing this, 30 something years. So we've seen a lot of changes, Tony.
I'll say, yeah. Now, just in the last couple of seconds, what do you see happening in the next 5 years? Could you predict out that far?
Yeah, I'm not very good at prediction. I like to read markets as they're happening to make changes. Obviously, there's always technological advances, and I think the biggest implementation that any company has to do is to kind of get comfortable with new technology. Don't expect technology to completely change everything, but learn to work with it to improve your systems. Business will always be people to people. At the end of the day, technology can help us or can hurt us, and people are so afraid. AI is the biggest thing. It's been around for a fairly long time already. People are afraid of it. They think make it your friend. Just like websites years ago, we're going to end all other advertising. It didn't do that. So just kind of put in place training on all new technologies that are coming in. And some of the technologies have no impact to your business, so disregard them. You don't need to adopt everything. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes any client does. You can't do everything. You can't be on every social media channel. You need to pick your markets, understand your targets, and move on. And just do great work, right? It always comes back to great service and great results.
Great. Well, thanks for your words of wisdom, Robert, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of Advertising Champions. You could find more shows like this and additional shows from Advertising Champions on dailynewsnetwork.com.
We've been around for 16 years, working with clients, with thousands of clients. We're working with agencies to be able to scale them and grow them and provide them services that would cost them way more than it would for them to do it themselves. Anything oriented around lead generation, video creation, web design, we're full service, so we can really serve most people.